My name is Officer Chato Villalobos. I work with the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department. Currently, I'm assigned to the Westside Kansas Center. My position is a Community Police Officer. My primary objective for my assignment is to form community relationships, do a lot of crime prevention. We work with schools, not-for-profit organizations, religious groups, business owners, and the residents down there. Well, one of the things that makes this place so relevant to even in this time, even though it's something that was written many years ago, it makes it so relevant in this time is that still today we see among young people there is this need to belong to something, and that crosses all economic, race barriers. I mean, regardless of where the young person comes from, if they do not belong to something positive that involves caring adults, positive experiences, and safe places, they will find it on their own. And what we're seeing today is the internet. There are a lot of kids who are getting on the internet because they don't have access to a group that they can belong to, and if we don't pay attention, they will find those groups on the web as well. What we see is in the same neighborhoods where these kids are involved in gangs, there's also kids who are involved in a lot of positive activities, and we're fascinated by this. Why does this happen? Why do some kids choose to be a part of certain groups as opposed to others? And I remember reading in the philosophy of youth development that one of the #1 developmental needs for young people between the ages of 12 and 17 is to belong to something, to belong to a certain group. It's a natural need that young people have. And so we see when young people are not involved in extracurricular activities or church activities or not-for-profit agency activities, after school stuff, the gang does fulfill that need. Gangs do fulfill a certain need. They go around saying, hey, we want you to be a part of something. We will be there for you. They use the word love. I got love for you. So for young people who don't have that, cannot fulfill that need on their own within their family or their church groups or their school groups, I mean, it's really easy for them to fall into something like that because of that, that desire to belong to something. But these kids are not bad kids. I mean, they make this choice to belong to something. They don't realize that there is consequences, when you're involved in a group that participate in negative activity. It's more important to you to belong to this thing that you will participate. In the play, you'll see there's a moment where you see that these guys, they're core. They're not bad kids. They're just, this is their environment. They're influenced by the groups in their environment. And the point of the play, the two of the main characters, Johnny and Ponyboy, were staying in this abandoned church, and they go away for a while to go get food or wherever it was that they left for a little bit, and they come back and there's a group of young kids playing in this church, and the church catches on fire. They immediately see, like, hey, there's people that need help, and their core told them, we got to go in there and help these kids, and they just run in there without thinking about their own safety. And that's something that a good person does. They care for other people. But it defines these kids. These are the acts that define these kids, not whether they're influenced or the groups they belong to. But you can really easily see that if you do choose to belong to a certain group that is involved in criminal activity or negative activity, that can also define who you are and how people look at you. I have a special place in my heart for young people, before they turn 18 and they're adults and they're able to make their own decisions. Is, what can we do to help create a safe place with caring adults and positive experiences? How can we be partners with organizations that already do that to help get these kids in there? Because that's what's going to reduce crime, not just throwing people in jail. I mean, we could throw people in jail all day long, but until we address certain issues, and starting with the young, I think, creating certain opportunities for them to excel and, with positive experiences, I think, that's the way to go. So personally speaking, as a police officer, 12-year veteran, I'm really excited that the Coterie is going to be doing this play, The Outsiders, because it really hits home to a lot of issues that affect, our youth today. Some of the ones that I am familiar with that do a real good job, over on the west side where I work, there's, the Guadalupe Center has a lot of youth programs, sports and academic and extracurricular, and that's after school and during the summer. Boys and Girls Club is a large, recognized community-based organization here in Kansas City, and they're located throughout the east side and northeast. They have a lot of stuff for, during school, after school, extracurricular activities. The Mattie Rhodes Center over on the Kansas City, Kansas side, I know there's El Centro. They have, after school programs. There's, check with your local churches. Sometimes they have, youth groups, and that'll be a nice resource for you. Even within your own schools, there's some schools that have after school programs, they're enrichment type programs.